Today we're going to talk about how to do psychological research for your term paper using online databases of scholarly journals and other scholarly information. So the first step is to go to your library website, and you're going to find on your library website where they list all of the databases. And then I like to go by subject, unless you know exactly what database you're already looking for. But you can choose psychology right here. And here you have a list of a bunch of databases that are appropriate for doing psychology research. And today we are going to start with PsycInfo. So I'm just going to click on that right here. And it's going to prompt you to log in with your username and password unless you're physically at the library. And once you hit login, it will take you to the database and we'll get started. So today we're going to start by talking about PsycInfo, which is a citation database. It's really one of the most comprehensive databases in terms of content that you're going to find, which makes it a great place to start, and you'll be able to really see everything that may be available to you. So we're going to start looking at our topic using the advanced search. I found that the basic search isn't really particularly helpful, and that the advanced search, especially because this database is so large, is really going to help you get articles that are relevant and that are small enough in number that you're actually able to sort through them. So say that we're interested in adolescence and depression and school performance. So I'm going to type in depression in our search field, number 1, and then school performance. And here it suggests performance at school. You can just click on that. You'll notice the connector here is an and because we want results that are both things. You could choose or if you only wanted one or the other. Say you were searching for something but you're not quite sure what the right search term is. You might search something like performance at school and also say academic achievement. And actually that's something that we can do right here. You can click add a row and choose or and put in academic achievement. Then as you continue your search, you're going to limit to peer-reviewed, right? Because we are writing a scholarly paper, so it's important that our sources are reputable and have authority. And then because of the nature of the discipline, you're probably going to want to narrow things to after a certain date. You don't want literature that's more than 10 or 15 years old. There might be an older seminal article that maybe you're really interested in, but you can always make adjustments to this after you do your initial search. So we're going to type in after this date, and then the year is 2006, and that gives us articles from the last 11 years or so. And then what's really handy is you can go through and look at the more search options. So you guys will notice that we talked about being interested in adolescence, but we didn't type that in our search bar, and that is because PsycInfo has an age group limiter. So we can choose right here, we can check the box for adolescence, and that will look for articles that fit that age group without us having to type in adolescents, teenagers, any other search terms that might be relevant to what we're looking for. Also, say you're interested in a specific measure or a specific type of study. Maybe you want like a really good background on information, so you're looking for a meta-analysis. You can use the methodology selectors. So maybe for a certain class you're looking for a quantitative study, that's an option. You can pick that. Say you need a twin study, that's something that you can find as well. And you can also select by record type. For the most part, we are looking for articles. So we can click journal article, but we don't really have to deal with that if we don't want to. You can limit by language. and population if you want to. But we're just going to stick with limiting by age group and our initial search terms. So we're going to hit search. And here we have 385 results. So that seems pretty reasonable. You know, some of these are more or less relevant to our topic than others. Something else that you can do, I'm noticing here that we have a lot of records that are not in English. So you can scroll right here and see this menu on the sidebar with our faceted search, and you can use the drop-down menu for language and just click English. And that takes about 20 results out of our initial search return, but at least now we don't have to read anything in a language that we may or may not know. So now we can scroll and see if we find something that is maybe relevant to our topic. So here we have selective attention, anxiety, depressive symptomology, and academic performance in adolescence. And that seems like it might be useful for your topic. So something that we can do is we can hit this preview button right here, and then we can read the abstract right here. So looking at this abstract, we can see that it's comparing 3 psychological variables and seeing how they relate and if they predict academic achievement. They talk about how they operationalize academic achievement, so this gives us a lot of information about whether or not this is useful for us. So say we decide that is a good article. Something that I like to do is open it in a new tab, so I'm still in my search results, because then we can look at not just the abstract, but also there's a tab right here, so we can see articles that it cites. So articles that this article cites may be ones that are also useful for us. And then we can also click here and see cited by, and we'll probably see some more recent articles that are exploring similar topics. So I think that's really useful as well. So now that we've decided that this is an article that we would like to read, you can see under full text options, because PsycInfo is a citation database, it does not have full text. So in order to find the full text of the article, you can check for the full text at your library. There should be a link. And look, here it takes me to my library's website and it tells me exactly where I can find the article. So that's more or less how to use PsycInfo. It really gives you a lot of options for searching for exactly what you need. And because it has such breadth and access to so much information, you really are able to find not just what you might be looking for, but also a sense of who is studying what you are interested in and where to look for more information. There's another database that is very similar to PsycInfo that we are going to talk about next. So as you can see, PsycArticles looks very similar to PsycInfo. What's different about PsycArticles is that it is by the American Psychological Association, and it is a full-text database of journals that are published by the American Psychological Association, the Canadian Psychological Association, and a European publishing company that publishes behavioral science articles. So what's great about it is that it is a full-text database, which means that we don't have to go through our library website to try and find the full article. We can do it right here. But we can essentially do the same exact search. So we're going to do the exact same thing that we did before. Type in depression, and we had school performance, or academic achievement. We're limiting to peer-reviewed. And this time, we can limit to full text. We want things that are from within the last 10 years. And we can go through and choose our adolescent age group again and search. So here we've actually ended up with a lot of results, which is probably too many for all of us to go through, even if they are full text, peer-reviewed journal articles. So we're going to look at ways that we can narrow them down. Maybe we only want articles that are very recent. So we're going to go from 2007 to 2010 and hit update. Let's see where that gets us. So we still have a lot of results, and that might just mean that you go through the first, couple pages and then move on if you feel like you've found what you need. But something I'm noticing is that the first article here is very relevant to our topic. So what you can see is that it's pretty similar to the ways that we use PsycInfo. We can hit the preview here and read the abstract. And we can open it in our new tab. What's nice is it shows right on the page all of the images, so we can see what the tables are that are going to be within the article. And then on the first page, we immediately have an option to download the PDF, as well as the same options we have to look at articles that it references and articles that cite this article. You'll also notice that the search terms that we used are highlighted within the text of the article. So you can see everywhere it says depression or school. We can, however, turn that off if it's bothering you. On the website, we have this handy way of navigating if you're going to read the article on PsycInfo. So if I want to just skip to the results, I can hit results and it'll take me right there within the article. So as you can see, it's very similar in terms of the search architecture to PsycInfo, but then you have these further options because it is a full text database. So you don't have to do quite as much work then finding the article. Once you've decided that you want to read it, you can read it right in the database, in the search results. At some libraries, you're actually able to search psych articles and PsycInfo simultaneously in the same database, and that's something that I would definitely encourage if you have that option. So the final database that we're going to talk about is Scopus. Scopus is a citation database like PsycInfo that has over 22,000 publications, focused mostly on the sciences. You'll notice that Scopus looks a lot different than PsycInfo and psych articles, and that there isn't really the same kind of advanced search function. You'll notice that we are in the document search right now, and that if you click on the advanced search here, they're really just sort of telling you how to do an advanced search, but it doesn't have the same kind of easy architecture for how you would do it yourself. So I tend to stick with the document search, and we're just going to use the same kind of connecting words that PsycInfo and psych articles provided for us. So for our search queries, we're going to put in depression, and academic achievement, and adolescence. We've limited by date to recent articles, and we're going to hit search. So here we don't have very many results. If you end up with a lot of results depending on your query and you want to limit further, something I like to do is to limit by subject area right here. And I usually choose for psychology, I choose psychology, social sciences, and nursing. It's important not to dismiss relevant information that is going to be in journals of other disciplines. And I found that if you're interested in psychology, a lot of social work and nursing journals are going to have really good information for you. We can do that now just to see what happens. It's very important that you click limit to, not exclude. You would use the exclude if you want to make sure that you don't have any articles from a given subject area, keyword, something like that. So we want to make sure that we hit limit to. And now we only have 76 documents, which is a very small number to go through. So this article looks like it might be interesting, and we can do the same thing that we did on PsycInfo where you hit view abstract. And so reading that abstract, we can see that it discusses a relationship between school performance and depression in high school students. So if we're interested in that, we might want to click on it, open it in a new tab, and we can look at the document details. And we can see right here things that it references, so that's really helpful. You don't even have to click on a new tab. And here you can, it's a little harder to find, check for full text. And here it is telling us where we can find this article. They also have some related documents on the side of the screen, which is helpful to see, and if it's cited by any other documents, which this article isn't. So maybe it's not a very good article, but we'll have to read it to find out. So that is Scopus.